Napetsky, you go after me. So round number one, Spec versus Matt. Here goes the first point, and the pilots are there merging. Vertical start. Oh, I forgot to mention that Spec is the one with without the tags, and Matt is the friendly guy. And now Matt gets the position, puts some head-on shots on Matt, on Spec, immediately 4% off. The switch by Spec, Matt sees it a bit too late and follows through. Match is quite even from the start. Some early aggression by Matt, but Spec manages to cut that away. And now a switch by Matt, beautiful switch by Matt.
Very nice.
Now Spec is in a bit of a trouble here in this bad position. Makes his own spiral switch. Matt follows through beautifully, and doesn't actually put any damage here. But more shots coming out of Matt. Spec manages to break left now, out of Matt's path, but Matt is continuing to put the pressure. 77%. Spec is in trouble now. Matt is cutting from below and from the top now, putting more damage into Spec. Spec is dancing around, makes a switch. Matt is following up, putting more damage, prevents the regeneration. 73% more damage by Matt. 47%.
We're getting close.
We're getting really close indeed. And now Spec manages to get the separation he needs to maybe regenerate. There's no angles from Matt here. He's far away and the regeneration is starting, and now Spec is making this counter attack. ECM by Matt. Beautiful spiral by oh my god. Beautiful aggression by Matt, but a beautiful switch by Spec, and it resets the fight. Angles are reset. Head-on pass by both pilots. And it's everyone's game now, and that was so close for a kill there. Matt was so close, but didn't get it. And now Spec is alive to live another day. Puts some damage, 69% by Spec into Matt. Beautiful comeback by Spec. Wow.
He's alive and kicking hard, man. Wow.
And now Spec with a beautiful switch from below puts the damage on Matt. 52%. This is looking grim for Matt. Matt makes a switch to the left. Spec is following like a boss. A spiral up by Matt. Spec sees that and follows indeed. Every move there. A bit late response here by Spec. That's gonna cost him the position. Now Matt is back behind him. Puts the shot. What a great switch by Matt. And looks like Spec is putting himself in the bad position now, with the possible of being destroyed. But no, a beautiful counter by him. And he takes the angles back, and the fight is even. Wow, those pilots really want it, both of them. You can see that they're really fighting it, and now I think the angles are even.
Yeah, it looks kind of even right now, or actually it's
maybe
very even.
Slight advantage, I think, for Spec. And here comes the ECM. Matt continues to counter those cuts by Spec, and Spec is cutting really nicely now with a switch by Matt. I don't know if Spec is gonna see that. Spec is gonna see that, but Matt gains some angles from that. Beautiful.
And another
beautiful
switch by Spec though. Matt sees that
and follows through, and now Spec is changing it around again. Matt is following it a bit too late. Spec is just responding so well, but now Matt with the position. And ooh, a spiral up by Spec, and look like Matt is again on the offensive. The position changes every few seconds here. Matt puts the shots now. 11% off from Spec, and probably more shots. Here go
61 left.
But Spec is countering now beautifully, gets those angles away, resets the fight. Wow. Spec. What a display of skill here. Both pilots are so good. Both of them are so talented.
An interesting switch by Spec there. I don't know if that worked for him or against him.
It kind of made the situation neutral. Didn't change for the worse or bad. Oh, for the good or worse. But now Matt with the offensive. Spec goes high. Matt is gonna see that, and now Spec is in a
good position.
Yeah. For Spec. Great position from Matt. Here comes the shots. No hits. Maybe now. Spec with the short scissors. Gets the angles. Turns right on time. Prevents every possible shot. Beautiful defense work by Spec here. Doesn't want to let it go. And Matt, really persistent with his attack. Makes a switch. I think Spec is gonna come from below.
Well, yeah, Spec saw that switch and acted on it quite fast actually, which evened it out pretty much.
Now head on pass by both pilots. Looks like Spec has a slight advantage. ECM by Matt goes up. Spec is gonna see the smoke. Doesn't miss it a little bit. Responds too late. Beautiful, beautiful offense move by Matt. Almost in trouble there, but manages to gain the separation and actually gain the position. This is just insane what's going on here.
Yeah, that was a nice switch by Matt. Absolutely. Good use of the ECM jammer.
Now Matt is trying to cut from the horizontal. Speq is gonna see that and respond with his own cut, with his own ECM. Now breaks right. Matt is gonna see that, but too late. Goes up diagonal. Bad move by Matt.
And Speq now in a good position. Yeah.
But Matt with a beautiful, again, beautiful turn, gets the angles away immediately. Head-on pass. The pilots are fighting for the first kill here, and it's far from being over. The clock started, Patsky?
Clock is ticking. We're at 24 minutes left and 35 seconds.
So 6 minutes in.
Yep.
And no clear dominant pilot here. Both of them are so equal. Position switches so much. I've never seen such a fight before, where position switches in such frequency. It's very nice to see Matt. Matt is really flipping it off here. And again, look at that counter by Matt. But Speq is not falling short in any perspective. He's just countering everything Matt throws at him, and actually adds his own spice. Here comes head-on shots, misses. And it's a stalemate locked here. Both pilots are passing head-ons on a vertical, pure vertical it looks like to me.
Yeah, it's so even, it's hard to say. No one is actually in the lead except now Matt put some good shots into Speq, 77% off.
Down.
Switches
and now
down.
Speq is with the lead. Wow, what the hell was that? But Matt with the half switch again. Look at that half switch. But now Speq is gonna go down and see that. Both pilots are scissoring for position. It's so hard to tell. They're so far out, but they're kind of high, about 600, 700.
Yeah, they're.
Speq went down now.
And Speq continues going down. Matt's gonna come from the top here, forcing a head-on.
No shots fired from either pilot.
No shots fired. Speq now, it looks like he's in the lead there. Put some shot into Matt.
Matt is taking 4%, 6% damage. Or sorry, 4%. But responds with 22% damage on Speq. Beautiful, beautiful offensive by Matt. Actually gets him smoking. And this is a tough match for both pilots. They are struggling for it.
It's so even.
Who knows how it's gonna end? Like I said before, both of them deserve to be in FLABSLAB. And
now Speq, will he come from the top? No, it looks like Matt got the lead here. Speq is now in a quite bad position. If Matt can just get some more angles. But Speq responds well though. Yeah.
Wow.
Matt goes horizontal completely and counters Speq's offensive. Now makes another prediction turn into Speq's flight path. Again, another one. Puts the damage, 87%. Speq is in a lot of trouble, but makes a scissor switch. And that gets Matt off his guard completely. More shots from Matt, 74%. Really close again. Now it looks like it's a kill shot here. That should be a kill, 54%. Matt is in a great position. Here comes more shots. Stay there to disable, and it's a kill shot there. Matt takes the first point. Beautiful, beautiful offensive by Matt. Wow.
Very good dogfight. Very good.
Very good indeed. So yeah, a very even fight.
Very even fight indeed.